Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cryptodamus Astrology YouTube channel. I'm Cryptodamus, and I'm here to talk about some of the key astrological alignments that are going on right now. In our last episode, we had the esteemed astrologer Dan Waits from the World Astrology Report on the program, and we talked about this key kite that was forming. It was a very rare and unusual alignment, one of the most interesting alignments of 2025, where Mars hit 1 degree Libra, and it fell into a grand trine position with Uranus and Pluto in Gemini and Aquarius, but it also opposed the Saturn Neptune conjunction, and that was last week. So we've got through that, and there wasn't any major crisis. I mean, I guess except for the situation in Gaza, which we talked about in that episode, and seems to be kind of coming to a head, but certainly unresolved. Also, during that kite period, we saw that Trump announced that he was going to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and they were going to try to hammer out an agreement on the Ukraine, a ceasefire in the Ukraine, and that's going to happen this week. So we'll see what happens there. We've also got Mercury is now out of retrograde and has gone direct. So that's kind of a favorable situation. Mars has like slipping out of that kite alignment, out of that grand trine alignment, and it's moving deeper into Libra now. But what we do have still in play is a very rare, sort of once in a generation alignment, minor grand trine alignment of the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. It's also Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto for now. So that's in play. And I think this is a really interesting and favorable alignment. Uranus is trining Jupiter. Let's take a look at this alignment. I think I have this queued up here. So just give me a second. Uranus is trining Pluto right now for the first time in 100 years. So that's kind of a big deal. You can see this alignment that I've highlighted on my Luna Astrology. By the way, if you do go and purchase Luna Astrology, you can use the Cryptodamus discount code. But we can see here that later in August, Uranus at 1 Gemini is going to trine Pluto, which is going to be retrograding back to 1 Aquarius. And as we said, this hasn't happened since the 1920s. So this is a 100-year aspect of technological breakthrough. What was the big technological breakthrough of the early 1920s? Well, guys, it was radio. It was radio broadcasts, especially on the AM. This was the huge technological breakthrough. It was radio broadcasting, changed the world forever. It made the world a much smaller place. It brought the world together, and people could listen to music and talk shows and news shows on the radio all across the country. They could hear the president speak. Of course, that wasn't until the 30s. Famously, FDR used radio for his fireside chats. So that was the big technological breakthrough of the 1920s. There were others, of course. Uh, Einstein famously won the Nobel Prize in physics for his theory of relativity and quantum mechanics in 1922 under that alignment. Now we've got the AI revolution. We've got quantum computing coming down. We've got the cryptocurrency revolution under the new Trump administration. We've got a lot of interesting developments that are happening technologically, robotics, autonomous vehicles, especially with Uranus in Gemini, which Gemini rules transportation, communication. So I think we are going to see flying cars. I think we're going to see autonomous cars, and certainly drones, especially unfortunately in warfare. We're going to see more and more autonomous drones that are going to be make or break as they've been in the Russia-Ukraine war. And now the United States is going crazy, arming up with autonomous drones. So this is the new wave of how this is the technological breakthroughs that are going to affect war. It's really interesting right now. I mean, the front lines are frozen in the Russia-Ukraine war. Nobody can move because If they come out into the open, they'll be immediately obliterated by a swarm of autonomous drones. Well, actually, not autonomous drones. They are pilot controlled drones. But so this is really changing the way wars are being fought. The stock market is going absolutely ballistic under this alignment of the outer planets. Now, I've also put Venus in here. Right around August 26th, Venus is going to hit one Leo, and it's going to join the minor grand trine alignment. It's going to make a sextile to Uranus, a trine to Neptune, and an opposition to Pluto. So this is actually three sextiles, two trines, and one opposition. So the opposition between Venus and Pluto is a little tense and difficult, but it's outnumbered by three sextiles and two trines. So overall, I think this continues to be a very favorable alignment. And we're seeing absolutely bonkers moves in the stock market right now. I mean, since April 7th, the S&P 500 just hit a new record high. Inflation report seemed to be coming a little bit higher, but not too bad. So a lot of people are expecting rate cut in November. We've got stocks like Nvidia up 100% since April, Palantir 170% since April, Robinhood 107, over 100% since April, Rocket Lab 200% since April. We haven't seen a stock market like this in a very long time. Uh, it's probably maybe since the dot-com bubble of the late 90s. So we could say this is like the beginning of the AI bubble. And of course, Saturn is now in Aries, just like it was in the late 1990s. So there might be some parallels there. In that case, we had Uranus going into Aquarius, the sign of new technology. And in this case, we have Uranus once again going into the air sign, Gemini, which rules communication and the mind and the intellect. It rules computer technology as well. So this is a very interesting and unusual aspect for August, and it's actually going to continue even into September. Now I want to look at one other thing. So I do want to go back. Now there is an interesting, uh, also, yeah, I mean, Venus is going to be, one of the things that's happens here is that Venus is going to be not only sextile Uranus here, but it's going to be trining the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries. And I think this is going to be very good for the markets, generally speaking, especially for crypto and technology because of this sextile to Uranus. So that's something that should be, on the radar for August. But let's go back just a few days before and look at that new moon that's going to come in. We've got a very interesting new moon on the 22nd of August here. And we're going to just adjust this a few hours later. So you can see the new moon is going to form here on the 22nd. And it's going to make that exact conjunction of the sun and the moon right around the evening of August 22nd. Now, this is interesting because it's at 0 Virgo and it's going to be conjoined the fixed star Regulus, which is considered to be one of the four main fixed stars in astrology. It's also going to be in a very interesting square to Uranus. Which could bring some really unexpected and chaotic surprises. So we'll see. Now that could also be favorable for technology and crypto. I asked Chat GPT about the conjunction of. I actually asked it about the conjunction of Venus. All right, so this is really interesting. This new moon here is really interesting at 0 Virgo because it's conjunct the natal Venus of the cryptocurrency Ethereum. And Ethereum has had a resurrection from the dead. And it's one of the hottest cryptocurrencies right now in July and August. It's absolutely skyrocketing and almost about to hit a new all-time high. I think that this new moon is very important for Ethereum and could potentially bring a local top. Um, Now, also, so I asked ChatGPT to give me a delineation of Ethereum's natal Venus conjunct Regulus. So first of all, it says Regulus is historically at 29 Leo, but actually now it's at 0 Virgo. It's called the Royal Star of Persia, and it symbolizes honor, nobility, fame, success, and leadership. So this new moon conjunct Regulus, I think, is going to be very auspicious, even though it's in the square to Uranus. I think the conjunction to Regulus is going to be very powerful, especially for the markets and especially for crypto and especially for Ethereum within crypto. So Venus, when Venus is conjoined Regulus, so this new moon is going to highlight Ethereum's Venus Regulus conjunction, and it is associated with financial prosperity. And what's really interesting is the motto of Regulus is success if revenge is avoided. So the downfall here, one of the only downfalls really is revenge, ego inflation, and avoiding vengefulness in matters of the heart. This is the classic downfall trigger of Regulus. Otherwise, it's very favorable. Um, so I think this is all quite interesting. And then, we start to head into the eclipse season, and there could be some problems there that we have to consider. But for now, what we're looking at is the outer planet minor grand trine. That's very favorable, as well as this new moon in zero Virgo that's conjunct Regulus. Uh, and now Mercury is direct, so that's a positive. If you did some research and laid the groundwork during that Mercury retrograde period, now is a good time to launch that project, start that new business, whatever that is, take that big, bold action, take that leap forward. So that's all very favorable. So I hope that you found this video interesting. I do want to share with you my website actually, which I just did some updates to. It's called the Astro Crypto Report. It does have a link to my YouTube channel here. It also has links to my Patreon subscription reports, where just recently I gave a buy signal on the Ethereum Treasury stock BMNR at $44. Well, it just hit $64 today. It's up almost 50% just in the last couple weeks since I gave that buy signal. We've been giving buy signals on Ethereum for about the last 4 weeks. So go ahead and check out my subscription services if you're really interested in my financial astrology for the markets. I also have a financial astrology online course with a link on my website. It's got 15 hours of tutorial videos and 6 PDF study guides. If you really want to go deep into financial astrology, I highly recommend my online course package. I was featured in Wired magazine back in 2024. I also, of course, do personal consultations for us, natal chart readings for financial astrology, and also private astrology tutorials. So keep that in mind. If you ever want to do an astrology consult with me, I'd love to read your chart. If you click on the link here, of course, it goes to my online store and you can purchase that. You can purchase that online course. So that's what we got for you guys today. Just a short little August video update. Let's see what happens in the next couple weeks, especially looking to this new moon in Virgo conjunct the royal star Regulus, called one of the four like protection gates of the sky, the royal noble fixed star of Persia. This should be quite interesting. Hope you guys are doing well and enjoying your summer, and we'll talk again soon. We'll see you guys. Take it easy, everybody.